Hi friends! Today we are going to be doing a little recap of everything that I read last month. So on May, I will be checking my phone because this is where I keep track of all the books that I read, including the book name, the author, the stars that I gave them, and if I read them on digital, paper, or I listened to them on audiobook, which rarely happens. The first book that I read on May was The Fall Risk by Abby Jimenez. For me, that book is a short story novella. It was at 2 stars. I will explain why. I didn't feel any kind of attachment to the characters, maybe because there were few pages where she could dive into the characters and the backstory of every character in particular. I read the story really quick, like in an hour or an hour and a half. But I don't know, I didn't feel connected to the story. That's why I'm giving it such a low rate. I have read reviews. A lot of them are giving them this book like 4 or 5 stars. That's totally fine. I guess that's just depending on your taste. I like long form books. So for me to read short story, maybe it doesn't help me to get in sync with the characters. With this short story, you have to be careful and mindful of the triggers before you start reading it because it has stalking, suicide, the use of weapons as self defense. What else? I think that's it. I did enjoy the relationship between Charlotte and Seth, how they became something more on Valentine's weekend, especially. But I don't know, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. I like that the author is actually writing about difficult and serious problems that a lot of people, especially women, live everywhere. And I don't know. I felt like a lot of the backstory of the characters, it needed to be more explained or deeper for me to really connect. So moving on, then I read Stitch comics. They are all from The Walking Dead. I went from volume 4 to volume 10. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I am really enjoying The Walking Dead, the comics. I am really attached to the series, like the TV series, and all the sequels that now they are doing. But I have never sat down to read the actual version. So I have to say, I don't remember if it was comic 3, the volume 3, 4, 5, or 6. It's really, they are really rough, cruel. Once the group meets the governor, things start to go so insane and so many terrifying things happen. I read them on my phone, like on the Kindle app, but I'm just lying on the bed before I go to sleep. So I was just, scrolling through the comic and I couldn't stop. I think for each comic, it took me one night. I really like them. I gave them 4 stars and not 5 because I feel like there is a little bit missing. I think the storyline is really nice. I love the illustrations, but I think they could have spent more time developing the characters and the relationships that are between the characters instead of jumping from one problem to another problem. And we don't really see any kind of um, their routine, the parts that they live most every day. We don't really get to see on the comics because they are always running to the next problem. And a lot of the characters that I like on the TV series, on the comics, either they are not existing or they are not featured as much on the comic. I know that's a me problem, and I wanted to really know how the TV show was adapted from the comic. But I am missing some kind of drama between the characters. It's so survival. I know that even in those situations, people will have problems between them. That's why I'm not giving it a 5. But it's definitely really nice, and I will 100% recommend it to anyone, at least that likes this type of genre. Then I finished my only paper book for this month, Twilight. I started this one on September last year. I went on a trip and I read, I don't know, maybe like 150 pages. Yes, on the trip. I came back and I just forgot that I was reading it. When I started this channel on May, I tried to look for all the books that I was reading, and I realized that Twilight, I didn't finish my reread this last time. So I finished on May. I have to say, I love this book. I know there are so many wrong things with it, but I just feel attached and I will continue to read it. I will actually do a review in maybe a couple of days of this book. Now I need to start New Moon. That's over here. Yes. This for me is a 5 star. If I could give it a 6 stars out of 5, I will give it just because Priscilla from the past loved this book. I think my husband actually asked me, "Do you still like it as much as the first time that you read it?" And I thought, I still love it, but I think the first time you read something, you can never get that feeling back. So even though I'm really enjoying it, I know that the first time I read this book, I enjoyed it 10 times more than now. Just because it was the first time. But I still love it. And I will be rereading it again, maybe next year. He asked me, "How many times have you read this book?" And I thought, this is a copy from 2009. And I think I have read it probably once a year or once every 2 years. So I don't know. You do your math. I'm getting old, but I love it. It's in Spanish, if you didn't know. Crepúsculo by Stephanie Meyer. Love it. And next, oh, I started Fortune Falls by Lou Vane. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name. That one for me was it's so difficult. I really like that book. So for me, it's difficult between a 4 and a 5 stars. I put down 4 stars. So I'm going to stick with it. Maybe because I feel like the author is not giving us answers yet about what's happening. I'm going to do like a little resume. I actually started these books for Peter Mon. I think that's one of the ones that he recommended. He has like 7 YouTube channels. One of them is called Peter Likes Books, Loves Books, something like that. And I think this one he recommended, and I was like, oh, I like that genre, so I'm going to check it out. It was, well, it still is on Kindle Unlimited. It's a 5 book saga. I'm on number 2. Number 1, it's a dystopian, no, I'm sorry, apocalyptic book. It's young adult, and you have a group of teenagers that are going on a summer camp for leadership. So they get to Fortune Falls. Well, that's part of the region. I'm not sure now if that's the name of the. No, that's not the name of the zone. Oh, I I forgot what's the name. They arrived to the camp in an area which is really close to Fortune Falls. They need to stay there for maybe 10 days, and then they will go back home after they have learned everything that they need to be good leaders in the future. But once they are there, they realize something happens where a person is injured and they need to contact the radio for a helicopter to come pick that injured person up. And they realize that the radio is not working. So they start to get nervous. Some of them leave with the injured and they don't come back. This group, a situation happens. I'm not going to give you big spoilers. Something happens where they are in danger and they realize that there is some kind of virus, at least on that state, that is killing people and that they are in a quarantine zone. So they decide to go look for a safer place to stay until this virus, I don't know, disappears. Maybe they don't really know. That's why I'm giving it a 4 stars actually, because on the whole book, they meet people that know a little bit more about what's happening outside of this like national park, and the author is not giving us answers yet. Maybe on the next books we will get the answer, but for now, yes, I think a 4 stars it's a really nice way to go. I like the writing, I like the storyline, the characters. It has drama, it has romance, it has jokes. They are really different from each other. We get to meet many people that come in the group from outside. They get to discover a place where they can stay that it's amazing and they need to defend it from other people. So I am really enjoying it. I'm already on book two that it's called Novas. Yes, for me that's really nice. And I think, oh, and the last one I finished yesterday was one of the books that I wanted to finish because I started months ago, that it's only in Spanish. It's called Tokio Bajo el Monzón by David Tur Garcia. I read it on digital also. It's about a man that divorces his wife because they were not happy, they were not compatible, and he decides to start his life again. He changes job, he has no relationship. He moves to a complete different area in Tokyo, but I how many stars I gave it? Three. I like many quotes from this book. They keep saying you have to realize that you need to put your mind and your effort into achieving what you want to achieve. You cannot just lay down and drink and hope for the best. There are some people that are more encouraging for the main character, but I have to say, I at the beginning I liked the main character, but towards the end of the book I was tired of him. Maybe this is a two stars book because he went from a loveless relationship to looking for a relationship with a young woman that kept telling him that she didn't want to be in a serious relationship and she had many problems and she was doing not good things, and he kept on being so focused on getting her out of that situation instead of him focusing on his own situation that was difficult and he was not doing great. After some time, that young woman leaves because she has her problems, and he moves on to what he refers to a good woman that is stable, she's nice. They start a family, and like 3 years happen, and he's still thinking about this other woman that was not going to give him anything good. So I felt frustrated with him at the end of the book. Like, you know what? Maybe you don't deserve this good woman that you're talking about because you keep focusing all your energy on wishing and dreaming you were with the other person. I don't know. Who am I to judge? But you're telling me your story. So I don't know. Maybe, yes, I think 3 stars it's too much for this book. Maybe it's a 2 star. So for next month, I still wish to finish. I think it's going to stop recording. I wish to finish some of these books that I have on paper. This one I started like probably 2 years ago. crazy. This one I did start last month. This one like a couple of months ago, but this one I read with my husband. Also, this one I started it more than 1 year ago, I'm sure. So maybe I will try to finish these ones that are older. I am reading this one. I really like this one. I'm also reading this one. I just started. And this one. So I'm maybe going to keep these ones for June, possible to be read on June. But last night I did something that I said I wasn't going to do. Wait, let me pause and start. I started a new book. Yay! It's Voice of the Ocean by Kelsey and Pishke. I am really enjoying it. And I thought I started to read it. And I thought, wow, she's really um, focused maybe on the Hans Christian Mermaid, like the Little Mermaid. And now that I have started this one like 2 months ago, I picked it up one day and that's where I left it, like 10 pages in, 17 pages in. I thought maybe this is not by Hans Christian. I will finish this one and then I will read this one and I can do like a comparison of some kind. So I'm sticking with these three and these two for June. Hopefully, at the end of this month, I will tell you the good news that I did read them. I am reading on digital, like I mentioned, novas. Let me check. I am reading. Oh, I'm also reading Cobalt Red. I am going to be adding that one to June to be read list. I I think I started that one around January, but I left it like on page 20. And I am already in page like 80. So, keeping up. I am also reading on my Kindle Counting Miracles, Lessons in Chemistry, Novas, what? Novas, and that's it. So maybe if I stick to this plan, I will be able to reduce my physical to be read pile. But who knows what happens? I mean, they are my books and I can read whatever I want, whenever I want. But I don't know. I'm not a stick to the list type of person. I'm not. It's really difficult for me. But I think I am feeling this book I was loving last night. I read just the first chapter. Yeah, no, chapter 2. But I am liking the way Kelsey is wrapping the story. So this one I'm sure I'm going to finish. And Cobalt Red. I am also really deep in research of everything that Siddhartha says in Cobalt Red. I will be talking about them on June. Maybe. Maybe not. Keep up. Okay? Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you stick for this 20 plus video. And I will see you on the next one. Just be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I support you in following your dreams. So I will see you on the next video. Bye.